This conference will now be recorded.
Right. Okay, fine. So let's go ahead and start with the introduction, as I was telling, right? So yeah, as we are all know that we are going to discuss much about Selenium, right? So before we go ahead with Selenium, let's try to look back at manual testing process. How do we do right now? Okay. So in any company, right? So we'll be having a group of people who are dedicatedly will be working on manual testing, right? So those will be like expertise on manual testing. So they knows how to write the scenarios, how to write the test plan, test strategy, test scenarios, test cases, and how to execute based on the need, right? So like all those people, like they'll be writing or they will be documenting the test cases so that the same test cases can be used by other people and they can try to test the application, right? So in this particular case we are targeting to test only the web applications, right? So if we wanted to test mobile apps or desktop based applications, so the tools and everything will be different, right? But specific to Selenium, right? So as Selenium supports only web applications, so we'll be talking much about web application. Okay, so all the kind of rules, so test cases are nothing but a kind of rules which we document, right? So those rules will be documented in a language called English, right? So because everybody of us can understand English, right? Even I can understand English and everybody of you also can understand English. So if I write in a language that should be understandable by others, right? So manual testers, they will keep documenting some set of steps and some set of expected results, right? So the way how the application has to behave, right? So manual tester, so let's say this guy is a senior person, he is documenting the test cases, right? So some one more resource can come, he can be junior, he can read out all the test cases and he will perform the same actions on top of the application, right? So if application is behaving against the the requirements, so whatever the requirements, we will be documenting the test cases. If it is not working as per the requirements or as per the test cases, then obviously we will fail the test case and we will try to stabilize the application. That is what the job of manual tester, right? So this is a simple manual testing process which we will follow, right? So this is just a very basic thing, right? So now let us understand how can we replace manual testing process with automation testing process, right? So that part we will try to understand now. Okay, so now let me go to the next slide. Okay, so here, so before we go with automation, let's try to understand what are the drawbacks, what are the problems or challenges we have with the manual testing process, right? So manual testing resource, right, have to explicitly sit and he has to test the application, right? So that is the process which we are following. But with this process there are a lot of challenges we have, a lot of drawbacks we have. So let us see what are those and how do we overcome them, right? So first one, if you see here, this is nothing but like time consuming. What does this mean? Let's say we have an web application which contains like 2000 test cases, right? Already we have written 2000 test cases. So if we keep adding any new feature, right, then what happens? Obviously we have to test all 2000 test cases for sure, just to make sure nothing else is broken by adding the new functionality to our application, right? So just assume that okay, coming Friday is our release, we have very less time, right? So another 2 to 3 days we have it, right? But I have 2000 test cases, I have very small manual testing team, which are around like 4 to 5 people. So 5 people testing 2000 test cases on all the browsers, is it possible within 2 to 3 days? Highly impossible, right? So in that case, what we can do? Either we have to go ahead and hire the manual testing team, right? So recruitment again, it may take more amount of time, right? It's not that we can just do it in within a few seconds or minutes, right? We have to start, create a position in the companies, and then we have to talk to the HR team, hiring team, and lot of things will be there, right? So all that things is nothing but the drawbacks which we have with the manual testing process. So even if we hire the manual people also, right, once they onboard to the company, right, they need some time to understand about the application domain, and then they have to read out the test case and then start testing. So all these things cannot happen within 2 to 3 days. It's very big challenge, right? So the only way is, if we might have automated all 2000 test cases, yes, we can execute all 2000 within a day also. So we have still 2 more days as a buffer to go ahead and fix if we identify any bugs in automation testing, right? So that is the major drawback which we have with manual testing process. So a manual tester, a person has to sit and test everything manually, which is really a time consuming process. Okay, so that is one of the major drawback which we have with the manual testing process. And then the next one is accuracy. What does this accuracy mean? Let's assume that out of 2000 test cases, I have 1000 test cases which is mostly involved with complex calculations. So if we have complex calculation, what we will do, either we will take paper, pen and do some calculation, or maybe some calculator, or maybe some Excel sheet, and we will do some calculations and make sure the data or the values are accurate, right? But as I was telling, so out of 1000, there are chances that a manual tester still can do some mistake, right? So if we are asking him to continuously work for more time, right, then there are chances that he may do some mistake. He can pause even though that particular test case is failed, right, due to some pressure, whatever we are asking them to work within less time with more work, right? So in that case, right, accuracy cannot be guaranteed, right? So even if it is a fraction of units or whatever, so number related stuff, calculation related stuff, it will be very easy if we might have already automated by writing some formulas in our code and has been already executed. So accuracy can be 100% guaranteed through automation, but with manual we cannot say. There could be some cases if we give enough time to them and if we ask them to test it thoroughly, yes, there could be. But if we give very less time and if we ask them to do more work, right, there are chances that something may go wrong, right? So that's the reason we see like accuracy is the second drawback. Okay, and then the tiredness. So as I was telling you, I have only 5 people and I have only 2 days, 2 to 3 days. So within 2 to 3 days, if I wanted to complete testing all of these 2000 test cases, obviously it is not possible, right? So it takes more time. It takes more time. So we have to, we cannot achieve it. We cannot complete the testing within 2 to 3 days, right? So if I ask any manual testing resource to work more than 8 hours, obviously they will be feeling tired. Yes, they may extend 1 hour or 2 hours, but not more than that, right? So that is the way how, that's one more drawback. Okay, and then the next one is the repeated task, right? If I ask someone to test same functionality, let's say I wanted to select a product and check out. Okay, so same flow, if I ask within a day to test 5 to 10 times, obviously they will be feeling bored that hey, I have to do same task again and again, right? But if we might have automated, then this kind of challenge we cannot see, right? Once you write the code once, you can run n number of times. There is no restriction, right? So whatever the instruction we give, accordingly our system, our software should execute, right? So these are some set of drawbacks which we have with manual, and yes, we got the right answer that all of these drawbacks can be overcome through automation, right? So that is the drawbacks which we have with the manual testing process. And yes, we can overcome everything through automation. How we will overcome, we'll see practically one by one through our course. Okay, so now let's see. See, in previous case, as we have drawbacks with manual process, so what is the decision? Yes, we can reduce the manual testing resources and we can hire automation testing resources, and they will start automating our test cases, right? Our end application is same, and instead of manual people, we are going to hire automation testing resource, and we are going to choose a software, right? Instead of a manual tester reading this test case and writing the test case and also executing on top of application, what we are going to do is we are going to ask software to do that instead of we doing it, right? So benefit that we are going to get is we can quickly automate, we can quickly test our application, and we can get the feedback, our testing feedback very quickly and very easily, right? Even though we will not depend on any resources manually, right? That is the benefit that we are going to get. Okay, so now let's understand how the automation testing process happens. Okay, so as we already discussed, we are going to hire some set of automation testing resources. So what they does is they will write some lines of code. Okay, so they will write some lines of code to open the browser. Okay, navigate to let's say Gmail application, enter email ID, enter password. Okay, and then click on submit button and then log out and then close the browser. So some simple steps just to log into Gmail application and log out of Gmail application. So for every action that we wanted to do, right? So manual test, automation testing resource will be writing some line of code, right? For every line of code, whatever automation resource is writing, there will be some predefined code present in the software, right? But where automation test engineer will write some code inside IDE. IDE is nothing but the place where we can write some code. That's it. It's just an environment where I can develop my code. Okay, so to open browser, there will be already a predefined logic. So that logic, what happens? It will open the browser instead of we opening the browser manually. See, whenever we do manual testing, we will open our system and we will open the browser manually. Instead of we doing that, right? Automation test engineer will write some line of code to open the browser. So that code will communicate with the software. In software, there is already a piece of code developed by someone who ever developed this software. Software can be anything. It can be Selenium, it can be QTP, it can be Sahi, Sequely, Oats, anything. There are a lot of automation tools present in the market, right? But any tool, the way any tool working will be the same way, right? So this line of code will communicate with software, and that software will open the browser for us instead of we doing it manually. Okay, and then again, like so first step is to open the browser. So second step is to navigate to some application. Let's say I'm just telling navigate to Gmail application. So once we open the browser, navigating, so entering the URL will be taken care by software again. Okay, and next step is enter some username. So to enter some username, again I am writing some lines of code. So that line of code will enter some username over here on top of browser like this. Okay, and then to enter some password, let's say one more line of code I'm writing. So that line of code will enter the password. Okay, after entering the password, clicking on some button. So click on some button. There is some predefined logic present in the software. That logic I'm going to write in Go. So software will click on the button. So once the button is clicked, so we'll be logging in. And again, click on logout. So logout will happen. And again, close the browser finally. So to close the browser, again, we have some predefined method. So that method will go ahead and close the browser. So every simple action, right? So whatever we do manually, everything we should be able to automate. But to automate it, we have to write few lines of code. But what lines of code we have to write? Because throughout the world, because most of the people knows English. But if I write some test case in some other language, right? Obviously, people may not understand if they don't know the language. But throughout the globe, most of the people knows English. Yes, manual testing resources will be writing the test cases in English. But in the same way, what language this software can understand? In that language only we have to write our automation test cases, automation code, right? So that languages, what are those languages that software supports, on all that stuff we will try to understand in some time. Okay, but now we understood at high level, right? Automation test engineer will write some lines of code. So those lines of code will communicate to software. So software will perform some actions on top of our browser, right? So, but if it is a manual resource directly will write, I mean, will perform some action by reading out the test cases. But through automation, we are taking help of software. With the help of software, we'll write some lines of code inside IDE, right? So there are a lot of IDEs in the market, right? So some of the IDEs are Eclipse, IntelliJ, NetBeans, and all, and so on, right? So we can pick any IDE. So it's up to us. If anybody are already comfortable with Eclipse or MyEclipse or IntelliJ, right? You guys can go ahead and start using it. Right? So there is no restriction that we have to use only one particular IDE. We can use any of the IDE. Okay, so whatever the code we write in IDE, that code will communicate with software, and software will perform some set of actions on top of our application. Okay, so this is the approach how we are going to automate our application. Right? Any questions on this so far? Okay, if no questions, we'll go ahead. All right, so let's go to the next slide. Yeah, like however, we have some drawbacks with manual testing process. In the same way, we have a couple of drawbacks with the automation testing process as well, right? So let us see what are those. How can we overcome? Right. So the first one is lack of automation experts, right? Even you can see in the market there are very huge number of openings, right, from a lot of companies for automation experts, right? So the reason is like every company knows that what is the return on investment they can get it if they automate it, right? So instead of having a big team of 20-30 manual testing resources, they can hire 5 to 10 automation resources and they can automate everything, so that they can reduce the amount that they are spending on top of the resources, right? So because of that, every company they are migrating towards automation, even though they have the complete stabilized manual process, but still they are trying to automate everything so that they can reduce the amount of time and they can reduce a lot of resources, right? So if we are the automation expert, right, there is very huge requirements, huge opportunities in the market to get very good job on automation, right? So focus, try to learn automation and get the good job and better job, and right, get into the better opportunity. Okay, so that is one thing. And second thing is some applications cannot be automated. What does that mean? Right, so for example, dynamic applications, right? So if you take any gaming application, right, if you take any game, we don't know how long the object appears, from where object comes and from where object goes, right? It will be completely dynamic, right? So such kind of applications we cannot automate, but other than that, whatever the static applications we have, yes, every static application we can automate and we can reduce our manual efforts, right? So this is one more drawback with automation. It's not that any type of application, any type of scenario can be automated. There will be some limitations as well over there. Okay, and then the last one is some automation tools are expensive, right? So right now we are working with the Selenium, which is the complete free and open source. We don't need to pay for anything for Selenium. You can just download it and start using it, right? But there will be some tools in the market like Qtp, Oats, right, and so many other tools, right? So where like we have to purchase the license and then we have to start using, right? So this is one more challenge, one more drawback which we have with the automation tools, right? So it's not that every small company can purchase the license of Qtp or Oats or some other tools and they can start using it, right? So they have to spend lot of amount, right? So that is one more challenge. So but like if you wanted to understand like why they will go with expensive licensed tools, is the reason is they wanted to use a common tool or single tool for to automate web application, mobile application, desktop based application, or any other types of applications, right? So if that is the case and we wanted to use single tool, then obviously we may have to go with licensed tool, right? Because any open source tool may not support all the types of applications, right? So that's one more drawbacks, right? So these are the drawbacks which we have with the automation testing process. Okay, right? So now let's understand. So most of the times whenever we talk to our friends or maybe our seniors, right? So few people will talks about some tool called Selenium, few people talks about QTP or LoadRunner or maybe JMeter. So like there are a lot of confusions around these tools. Which tool we have to learn, which is the better tool, what is the better opportunity we get it in the market if you learn something from automation, right? So just to differentiate, right? So there are two types of major testing we do, right? One is functional testing and then performance testing, right? Functional testing talks all about is whatever the requirement is the application is working as per the requirement, is what we do as part of functional testing, right? And coming to performance, what is performance? Okay, like let's say I have an application and my application is being used by let's say 1 lakh users. How my application is behaving at that particular user load? All 1 lakh users are using my application at same time. The best example I can say is IRCTC application in India. So if we wanted to book any train ticket, so everybody comes to 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock because that is the Tatkal time, right? So they wanted to book the train ticket for them or their closures, right? So to travel somewhere within the India, right? So as most of the people using the application at the same time, we can see even nowadays IRCTC performance has been improved a lot, but you know a few years like 4 5 years back, if you see, it was very slow at Tatkal time. Reason is as user load is more than some lakhs of people are using the application at same time. So the server might be becoming slow, response will be slow, or some kind of errors also we can see. But if our intention is really to test the performance, to see the behavior at that particular user load, then we have to go with performance testing. Or if you wanted to test the application functionality behavior, functional behavior, then we will go with functional testing, right? So the tools for functional testing is Selenium, QTP, WinRunner, and Security, right? Some of the tools I have listed. There are many more tools in the market, right? For performance, we have something like LoadRunner, JMeter, Silk Performance, and so on, right? So it's our call which one we have to learn, right? But just to avoid the confusion, right? What is performance testing? What is functional testing? We understood at high level. Okay, and now let's understand when we have to use Selenium, right? What about the other tools, right? So to understand, so already we decided to learn Selenium, but what types of applications Selenium supports, that we will understand now from this particular slide, right? So the first one is functional testing of an application. So just now we understood the difference between the functional and performance, right? So we are going to do functional testing with Selenium, not any other performance or any other types of testing we can do. Okay, and major thing is to automate a web application, right? Also mobile browser applications also is supported by Selenium. Okay, and then the next one is to test the applications on different OS and different browsers. Okay, let's say I have an application. Okay, let's assume that we are testing Gmail application. So we can say that Gmail is being used throughout the world on multiple OS, multiple browsers also. Let's say I'm using Windows, mostly I will be using Chrome. But some of you, can you guys can see my screen? Okay, I just reshared.
Yes, yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so like everybody of us, maybe somebody will be using Mac OS, somebody will be using Linux, or different OS and different browsers, right? Chrome, Firefox, Opera, Safari, right? Internet Explorer or Edge recently. So yes, Selenium is the right tool to test our application on different browsers, different OS, and also mobile-based browser application as well, right? So if your requirement is to test your application within this particular browsers and OS, yes, Selenium is the right tool to use it, right? Okay, so that is about when to use Selenium. Okay, and one more major advantage what we have with Selenium, so the reason why Selenium has become more popular in the market is Selenium supports different browsers and all the latest browser versions also it supports, right? Yes, we can automate our application using Mozilla Firefox, Edge, or Opera, Internet Explorer or Edge, Google Chrome, Opera, Safari, or right. These are the most popular browsers we have it in the market, and yes, we can test our application with all of these browsers. Okay, and then coming to OS, as I was telling, yes, Selenium. With the help of Selenium, we can test our application on Windows OS or Mac OS or Linux or Unix also. Anything. All of these Selenium supports. Right. See, that is the major reason, right? Selenium has become more popular. See, this is one more reason. See, like when we talk about QTP or any other tool, at max it supports one or two languages, but Selenium supports all of the popular languages whatever we use for software development, right? So Selenium supports Java, right? So Selenium supports C Sharp, Ruby, Python, Perl, PHP. So these are the multiple languages Selenium supports. So if we are already proficient with any of these languages, yes, we can go ahead and start writing our test cases using Selenium. If we don't know, yes, we have to learn any one particular language, obviously, so that through this language we will talk to Selenium software, and Selenium software will perform some set of actions testing behalf of us. That is what our end goal is, right? Okay, and then the next one is like Selenium components. So whenever we talk to some of our friends, like they will be telling like a Selenium IDE, few people will talk about Selenium RC or WebDriver or Grid, right? So let's try to understand at basic level what is IDE, what is RC, WebDriver and Grid, where we have to focus more on, which is very important for us. Okay, so let's try to spend some time on this particular slide. See, IDE is the very basic or first version of Selenium, right? So which has only the record and playback option, right? So this record and playback also will work only with Mozilla Firefox browser, but not with other browsers. It's a limitation, right? So it's like any automation tool nowadays has a recording capability, and we should be able to play back. It's something like recording our voice or recording something through our conversation and playing back and listen once again. So same way, we should be able to record some actions, right? So I can open my I can start the recording, open the browser, navigate the application, perform some testing activities, and stop the recording. And if I play back, same set of actions will be repeated by IDE tool, right? So this is not really much required for us, right? So this is just a record and playback, and every scenario, every situation cannot be handled or automated through IDE. So it's not much of our focus. So let's not worry about IDE. Okay, and then the next version is RC. So RC is already deprecated, so no support from Selenium guys on this RC. So this is the older version of Selenium. Okay, so we really no need to worry about this particular component. Okay, and then the next major focus where we have to work 99.99% is on WebDriver. All right, so WebDriver is the latest version of Selenium, so we will be calling it as Selenium version 2, right? So this WebDriver, through WebDriver API, we will try to automate, right? To open the browser, click on button, edit something, click on some button, some link, or enter some username or anything, whatever we wanted to do with respect to the web application, everything we can handle, we will handle with the help of WebDriver API, right? Also, WebDriver API supports all the latest browser and later all the OS as well, right? So that is about WebDriver. And whatever the code we write in WebDriver, we will execute our test cases through Selenium Grid, right? So as I was telling you, one of the scenario that I have only 2 to 3 days of time, but I wanted to test case all to execute all 2000 test cases. So if I run all 2000 test cases sequentially, it may take more than a day also, I don't know, based on the complexity. So what I do is I will use a small setting called as Selenium Grid. So with the help of Selenium Grid, I will try to maintain 3 to 4 missions. Let's say 4 missions. So I will execute all 500 test cases in each mission. So that what happens, I can execute all 2000 test cases in few hours and I will get the report as well. So grid is basically to run our test cases parallelly. That is what the meaning of grid, right? So we will majorly focus on WebDriver. So whatever WebDriver does, right? So that code we can execute with the help of grid. So we will not focus much on grid. So this is just a network kind of setup which will be done by our DevOps team within our companies. So our overall major focus will be on WebDriver, okay, not on our other components. Okay, so that is about the different components and which component that we have to focus more on. Okay, so far we understood some components about the Selenium, and now let's try to understand like throughout our training program we will be working on different stages. Okay, so first of all what we will do is we will try to learn Java. So as part of our course content, as we already decided, we will learning Java because we have to either learn Java or PHP, Perl, Python, JavaScript, C# something, because Java Selenium can understand only those languages, right? So we will learn Java. Once learning Java is done, then we will start learning Selenium. Okay, so with the help of Selenium, we will try to automate how do we handle the web elements, all those things. Okay, learning Selenium, right? So once we know how to handle the web elements. Web elements is nothing but it can be a radio button, checkbox, drop down, okay, link, paragraph, right? Pop-ups, alerts, messages, anything, whatever you see on the web page is nothing but the web element. So how to handle web elements, we will try to learn through Selenium. Once that is done, then we will work with the third-party tools. Just with the help of Selenium and Java, we cannot do the full-fledged testing. We have to know, we have to learn multiple third-party tools. So with the third-party tools, right, so we will try to integrate, we will try to generate the framework at the end. So we will integrate all the third-party tools and we will generate the framework, and that framework we will be using to automate our applications very quickly and very easily and simply, right? So that is our end goal. So totally 4 stages, right? Stage 1 learning Java, and then learning Selenium, third party tools, integration, finally we will make a framework, right? So that is at high level the 4 stages that we are going to work with. Okay, and then so as I was telling, learning Java anyway, so Java is the programming language. So with the we will try to learn how to work with Java, and then learning Selenium. What does that learning Selenium means? If there is a button, I wanted to know, if I am a manual tester, I know that this is a button I wanted to click on button, because with my human intelligence I know what to do based on the test cases, manual test cases. But how do we tell Selenium to click on the button, right? Automation testing code to click on the button, all that. How do we click on the radio button? How do we select a value from the drop down? How do we enter some information in the text box? How do you select a link from the menu, right? So like that, there are a lot of web elements present on web applications. So we will try to understand how to handle an alert, how to handle a menu, how to handle some pop-ups, anything, whatever you see on the web application or web page, nothing but web elements. So we have to understand through Selenium API how do we handle it. Okay, and now coming the main thing. So if you go to any interviews, the first important or main question people will be asking you is, hey, can you explain me the framework architecture, right? How the framework architecture you are using in your current company, can you explain me? So in that particular case, if you are able to draw this simple diagram and if you are able to explain them very neatly, then definitely people will be impressed with your the kind of answer you give and the way how you are giving the answers to the interviewers, right? So I will try to explain at high level. So we are going to use some tool called Selenium and some other tools to read the, we will be maintaining all our test data. So as we are going to test our application, we will test the application with different sets of data, right? So all the test data we will maintain, right? So we will try to maintain over here in Excel sheet. And as I was telling you that we will be using some third-party tools like TestNG for testing framework, Maven for execute our code, right? Bitbucket to store our code, right? And then Jenkins to do some continuous builds. Okay, so finally we can see browser keeps opens and test all the our all our 2000 test cases, and logs will be generated for debugging if some test case is failed. And also as part of output, our framework will generate the testing report. So testing report clearly says that how many test cases failed, passed, skipped, and all that stuff. If some test case is failed, I wanted to capture the screenshot. The screenshots are also captured, right? So in this way, the framework flow, right? This is a framework flow, how we will be, creating a framework of our own. So at the end of the course, this is our targeted goal, right? So at this moment, right now, if you don't know these names, you don't know what is this, don't worry. Again, we will come back to each and every concept, whatever we discuss. I'll come back to this slide and I will explain. So our end goal is to create a framework like this. Okay, so that is about the framework flow. Okay, so then let me show you the simple demo. So I'll just try to show you very simple demo here. Okay, so yeah, let me run very simple program. So this program will try to open some demo application. Okay, and it will try to click on some link and it will open the new window and enter some email in the new window and close the browser. So very simple demo just to get some feel how the automation works. See, browser opened, clicked on some button, another browser opened, and here you can see here it is entering some email ID and came back and again closing the browsers. See, very simple demo just to get some feel how the automation is working, right? So I just written some simple program, right, with the help of Java and Selenium, which opens the browser, navigates to some application. Okay, enter some URL, right? Navigate to that application, enter, click on the button, go to new window and perform some action. Again, close the window, again, close the final window. So some simple demo we understood, just we saw it. Okay, so now let's try to understand what are the benefits that you guys are going to get it from this particular training. Okay, so right, so this particular training is completely job oriented, right? If you guys are working on manual testing or if you are new to the testing completely, yes, this complete course, right, this complete training is job oriented, right? So for every small and every topic, like we'll be covering the interview questions and everything, like however how to face the interviews and all that stuff will be supporting. So this basically a job oriented training. Okay, so the next one is, right, so as I was telling you in one of my slide, there is a huge demand for automation testing experts, right? So it's your choice to become an automation expert and get into the automation role, right? So it's very easy, right? So just learn it and start looking outside. So definitely you will be getting a very good job. Okay, and then the next one is, as I said, right, so it is a job oriented and for every topic we'll be providing you the practical experience. So for whatever the topics we have in our course content, for all those topics we'll be getting some assignments and we'll be asking you to work on some particular areas so that you will become enhanced on, not just like listening and leaving it off, right? You have to work on the assignments, you have to practice whatever we discussed daily. Okay, and then we'll be using some real-time tools, right, for bug tracking like Jira. You guys might have already heard about Jira, so we will be giving you the Jira access, and you will get the real-time feel that like you are working on a company, with a company, on all of these automation related work, right? So Jira is one tool, and also we are using some tool called backlog.com. So both of these tools will be using. Okay, and then the next one is 3 live projects we'll be giving you, right? So Book Purohit is one of the project, Eclate and Job Pillar. So these are the projects we are working on, we are developing. So same projects will be giving you to work on the real-time projects. Okay, and you also can also work on 4 paid projects, right? We have 4 different projects that we are working with. So if you guys learn automation quickly, and yes, we will be giving you the opportunity to work and you can earn something from our side as well, right? So that is one thing. And then we'll be having some quiz concept, like for every topic. So whatever the topic we discuss in our training program, so that topics will be giving you some quizzes, so you can answer those questions and just check like what is your understanding on that particular topics and areas. Okay, that's about quiz. And for every topic, right, I'll be providing you the interview questions, like what are the most asked interview questions in that particular topic, right? And then we will also support you by taking the mock interviews, right? So once you complete your course, right, or by the time of your completing the course, right, we can conduct some mock interviews and we will give you the feedback, like how you are performing in the mock interview, what are the areas that you have to improve. So that is one more benefit that you are going to get it through this particular training programs. Okay, and from our side, right, so we are going to send your resumes to the top companies for the best learners, right? So I see like most of the people are coming listening, right? If that is the case, it will not work out for you, right? So definitely you have to practice a lot, work on every assignment, be regular to the class, and just be more learning, right? So definitely in that case, for the people who ever learn, whoever shows more interest, for them, from our side as well, we will try to send your resume to the good companies, and we will try to support on the getting the interview calls as well, right? So but other than that, yes, definitely you guys can go ahead and update your resumes in Naukri, Monster, and even in LinkedIn, and a lot of opportunities we can see, right? Because that is the importance, like we know that automation importance is huge in the market. So a lot of companies are hiring, as we already understood. And the last one is assignments. As I was telling you, for every topic we'll be giving you the assignments, right? So you have to work on them so that you guys will be hands-on, and whatever the assignments you work, send it to me so that I'll review your assignments and provide you the feedback if something is not as per our um, uh, coding standards. Okay, so these are the major benefits that we will be providing through our training programs. So if you guys have any questions, you can ask me, or I can go to the next slide. Okay, all right, so coming to the timing and duration, right? So it's daily 1 hour, right? 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. India Standard Time. So class will be starting with Monday till Friday, right? So total hours is 30, and the days wise it is 45, because as we are not taking classes on Saturdays and Sundays, right? And if we have any national holidays, maybe we may take off, but other than that, we'll try to continue. Okay, for every topic will be having assignments and real-time project, as I was telling you, right? We'll be giving you some tasks to work on real-time projects so that you guys will be hands-on, and you will get some real-time experience as well by working on the projects whatever we are providing you. Okay, and with respect to the training, for every topic, we will be providing you the soft copies, right? So with you guys can go back and refer the soft copies, and also recordings for every topic whatever we discuss in the class, right? So even some few people may not attend some classes due to some emergency or some other important work. So in that cases you guys can still go ahead and refer the recording, or even though if you attend the classes you can refer the recording while practicing parallelly, refer it and practice it. And if you have any questions you guys can reach me at any point of time. Okay. And then yes, the course content. So course content, I think already we might have already shared with you guys, right? So but let me show you the course content. See, this is a course content. So as at high level we know that we will be covering Java, so these are the line items, right? So whatever the concept we cover, we'll keep marking, we'll keep tracking it over here, whether it is completed or blocked or not started or whatever it is. Okay, so Java, WebDriver, these are the concepts. Okay, TestNG, property files, logs, and every detail, right? So for every topic that we discuss, everything is being tracked in this particular Excel. Every day we will visit back here and we will mark it completed. If it is completed or not, we'll make it not started. Okay, so that in that way we'll try to cover the complete or all the line items whatever we have decided to discuss over the course. Okay, so that is about it. Yeah, so with this I wanted to stop it here. So if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer.